Hi, this is Morton Estrin at livingpianos.com with an extremely special presentation, the celebration of the life of my father, Morton Estrin, who was a great concert pianist, teacher, and an uplifting human being with an amazing spirit. He touched so many lives with his performances, his recordings, his teaching, and just personally. My sister and I had the good fortune of studying with our father from the time we started the piano until we went away to music conservatory. And there's so much I learned from him, as did so many others. In fact, there are thousands of people around the world who continue teaching from his legacy. In fact, virtually all my teaching that I share personally and through media is directly coming from my father. I want you to take a moment to listen to some of his historic recordings. He was such a magnificent musician, and what is to follow is a brief interview that was done a number of years ago, so you can get a little taste, a feeling for what Morton Estrin was about as a human being, a teacher, and a musician. Thanks so much for watching.
I knew I was going to be a pianist maybe 10 or 15 minutes into my very first piano lesson. I knew right then and there this was for me. It's like a bug bites and you can't shake it. My most important teacher was Vera Press. The lineage is really amazing. Vera Press studied with Emil von Sauer, who studied with Franz Liszt, who studied with Carl Czerny, who studied with Beethoven, who studied with Haydn. I made my official New York debut at Town Hall in September 1949, and that was a very, very exciting moment for me. I have played in Europe and all over this country. I've played Carnegie Hall and Town Hall, of course, Abraham Goodman House. I've played everywhere. Getting on stage and giving a recital is a terrifying experience. I often have had nightmares, and my nightmares are something like this. I find myself sitting on the stage at Carnegie Hall, stark naked, and I raise my hands, ready to play, and I suddenly realize I forgot to practice. Then I wake up. A cold sweat. Now I've slowed down a bit. My main performance is my once-a-year recital at Hofstra. I've been teaching at Hofstra since 1958 or 59. The exact year is not known. I have taught harmony, ear training, music 1, music 3. Teaching has always been my second passion. Sometimes I even think of it as my first passion. I did not become a teacher because I failed as a performer, which is often the situation that happens in the musical world. I never failed as a performer, and hopefully I never failed as a teacher. Major, minor, major's glad, minor's sad. Remember? That's always been a big part of my work, the fact that I'm a performer and I can do what I teach, which is very important to me.
I was a student of Morton Estrin's for over 7 years. Studying with Morton Estrin, you knew as a musician that your life was going to be changed forever. He had a way of, when you were playing the piano at a lesson, sitting 6 feet away from you, but knowing if you hit a wrong note and being able to say, that F sharp, you should be using your fourth finger on it. He just always knew. And if you were in his presence, you knew you were in the presence of a master. Among my students, I've had so many who have gone into musical careers. John Moncheri is a very, very famous symphony conductor. No matter how many people I mention, the only ones who really are known to everybody are Billy Joel and Deborah Gibson.
It's Deborah Gibson, by the way, not Debbie. She never liked Debbie. And people ask me all the time, what kind of student was Billy? I said, he was a little kid. One aspect of my career that has given me a great deal of pleasure has been my recording activities. I was the very first in history to record all 12 etudes of Scriabin. In searching for new repertoire, we came up with this idea of exploring the music that has always been associated with piano teaching, piano lessons. Everybody studies such and such pieces. Fur-Elise of Beethoven. I mean, who doesn't know Fur-Elise? You know, we thought, what a nice idea, let's make a record. They were probably more instrumental in my career fame, whatever it is, than in almost anything I've ever done. I have 2 children who have grown into and are practicing musicians, 5 grandchildren, and music sprouts out in all directions. I have a very lovely wife who's a fine, talented, gifted artist.
Practically 20 years ago, I was looking for someone to meet, and I decided that since I was an artist and lover of art, I would like to find somebody who was either involved in art, music, or writing. And I put an ad in a singles paper, and one of the responses I got was from my husband now, who is a musician, and I said, look at this, I ordered somebody in the arts and I got him. And it's a beautiful thing, you know, when we tell people about our story. Oh, music and art, how wonderful. It must be so beautiful to live that way. And it's very nice. It's a lovely thing. Being at one of Morton's concerts is nerve-wracking for me because I feel I'm kind of playing every note with him, and I marvel at the way he does it. He just captures the audience.
I continue to do what I do. I teach, I practice, I perform. It's a labor of love, but it's very, very, very hard work, very tiring. At the end of a day of practice, I'm ready for who knows what. Put me away somewhere on a shelf. The passion will only stop when I stop.